A top 20 matchup has seen each team get the better of each other through the first 2 days. Sets up a rubber match this afternoon. 16th ranked Arkansas looking for another marquee series win, while the number 5 Georgia Bulldogs look to play a road spoiler. Hi fans, alongside the All-American Troy Eklund, I'm Josh Haley. Glad to have you with us. In the success, Troy, that these two have had through the first 2 days, it's kind of hinged on starting pitching.
Well, it really has. Hunter Dietz really threw well in Game 1. Kind of a trio of pitchers for the Georgia Bulldogs in Game 2, but the Georgia Bulldog offense is electric, and it showed yesterday.
Well, it certainly did, yeah. Paired with that good pitching were the big bats.
Yeah, Henry Allen got things going with an absolute destroyed baseball out to left field. How about 477 feet? On with 2 strikes. Jory Oriach hit a base hit to right field, scoring another Bulldog, and then without ado, let's see, that was Lujo that hit the home run, almost caught by Diaz right there, Ruiz. But again, the Georgia Bulldogs, they lead the league in home runs, and they are really scary at the plate.
Yeah, that good outing from Dietz, of course, the story for Game 1, and then Caden Aoki out of the bullpen, his second longest outing of the year. Well, for the Razorbacks today, it'll be a man making his first start in nearly 3 years, Parker Coyle.
Well, Parker Coyle, I tell you what, he is a guy that normally comes out of the bullpen. He can go long. He can go 5-6 innings. Again, the wind's blowing out today. Had a big cold front come through, so both these starting coaches are trying to get pitchers to keep the ball down in the zone to induce a lot of ground balls.
The always tough Georgia lineup that hits an SEC leading 321, and of course lead the nation yet again in home runs. Already 104 on the season, including an absolute nuke yesterday from Henry Allen from that cleanup spot. Yeah, that was kind of a question for Dave Van Horn yesterday, Troy, after the game about the wind today, and they hadn't decided yet on a starting pitcher immediately after yesterday's game, but you know, it better be somebody that keeps the ball down and it can get away from you in a hurry on a day like today.
Yeah, this is one of those days. On paper, it looks like there's probably going to be double-digit home runs, but then, you know what, the score will probably be 3-2 or something like that. That's how crazy baseball is.
Last start for Parker Coyle, May 2nd, 2023. Wonder what that feeling is like for him right there as he delivers our first pitch. We're in the low 50s here in Northwest Arkansas.
Josh, I think today is one of those days that hitters are being told, hey, see the ball up in the zone. Fly balls can turn into home runs in a hurry today.
Trey Phelps is probably eager to go in here today after an 0 for 5 day at the park yesterday. Went 2 for 5 on Thursday. Don't expect to hold him down for long. Boasting a .503 on base percentage.
Pretty good eye so far for Phelps. He's trying to get something he can drop and drive on. Big swing right there on the 85-mile-an-hour cutter.
Payoff pitch. Laced foul. About 8 feet or so on the first base line. Phelps is always a tough at bat. Fouled off 9 pitches in his first 3 plate appearances of this series.
Well, tremendous talent. Kind of really the first year he's been truly healthy, and you can see the numbers definitely show that.
Another payoff, and he rings him up on one at the bottom of the zone.
Phelps with a few words for Daniel Jackson of what he saw out of Parker Coyle right there.
This one skied up down the right field line. Wynn pushing it, and it's over the fence for a home run. Just punched up into the jet stream. Daniel Jackson with his 18th bomb of the year.
Well, Josh, we've probably got two of the best catchers in the country, arguably, and super athletic, but just the power to the opposite field. This was just shot off the end of the bat. And again, I think the wind kind of helped keep that ball fair. You see Stewart just ran out of room. Jackson just continues to be on fire at the plate.
First pitch bomb, the 5th of the series now for these Bulldogs.
Well, right field's the direction that the winds are blowing. Normally it blows from right field foul pole to left field foul pole here at Baum Walker, but today with that cold front coming through, it's blowing straight out to right field.
First pitch here is hammered to left. Wind going to help knock that down maybe just enough as it's caught at the warning track by Damian Ruiz. Rylan Lujo retired.
So again, we talked about Allen's home run yesterday. You saw it in the open. 477 feet is what TrackMan estimated that one to go. It was absolutely destroyed.
It was the longest home run hit in head coach Wes Johnson's era. And just for context, the Bulldogs have hit 399 of them entering today under Johnson. But that, the very longest of the long, as this is popped up behind second. Nolan Souza's there to make the catch. But one big swing in the top of the first for the Bulldogs.
Well, this is what Daniel Jackson does. He just destroys baseballs. Just flip that one out to right field. Dogs up 1-0.
For the Bulldogs today in Game 3, they turn to a veteran. Senior Grant Edwards gets the nod, Troy.
Yeah, I think the big reason why Wes Johnson has decided to go with Grant Edwards, we talked about that wind blowing out. He's kind of a side armor. He's got some really good sink on that fastball. And here's the key number, key percentage. 65% of the balls put in play against Edwards are going to be ground balls. How about this stat? Left-handers are only hitting .071 against Edwards, the Submariner, but righties have had a lot of success hitting over 400.
First start this season, but will be the 30th of his career. And the lineup for the Razorbacks, it does, as usual, feature a lot of left-handed bats. There's 4 of them in there. They'll be just every other batter all the way until you get to the 9 hole. And Ruiz, who had that monster swing yesterday that stayed fair.
Josh, I want to touch base real quick on yesterday's starter for the Bulldogs, Dylan Vignew. He left after 2 innings, and I got an update on him. And good news for the Georgia Bulldogs team and fans and Dylan Vignew. It was just kind of some cramping in his pitching arm, and they just didn't want to take any chances, and that's why they took him out of the game. And boy, I tell you what, Caden Aoki and Justin Bird really filled in nicely for the Bulldogs, but that's really good news.
Yeah, it certainly is, with as good as he's been this year.
The question is home plate umpire Mike Fichter going to give that low strike? And if he does to either pitcher, it could be a long outing for the batters, because they're going to try to bury that the bottom part of the zone.
What's the adjustment as a hitter when you have a unique arm slot like that?
Yeah, it's just totally different of where you pick up the baseball, and you just have to change your eyesight. You're normally picking it up right around the pitcher's head, and now you have to go down there and pick that baseball up low. So it takes a few pitches to get used to.
See the movement right there.
So we don't have the luxury of the TrackMan strike zone. I think Daniel Jackson, the catcher for the Bulldogs, was kind of thinking that might have been there.
Outside, ball 4. Not missing by much on those last 2.
I'll tell you what, this is a day that pitchers do not want to walk batters with the way that wind's blowing out. You get a few free base runners and get that ball up in the jet stream, like you said, Josh, and boy, you can get a big crooked number in a hurry.
And that was kind of the key, wasn't it, for the Razorbacks in game one? They didn't self-inflict. They allowed a couple of Georgia home runs, but they were solo shots and a clock violation on Damian Ruiz. So charge him with a strike.
So the batter's got to be up there with his eyes ready, looking at the pitcher before the 8-second mark on the 20-second pitch clock. Feels like the old softball games in those tournaments when they're trying to get things going fast. Go up there with a 3-2 counter, get a strike already on you. Rutenbar not much of a threat to steal at first base.
Damian Ruiz already 3 for 7 in the series with those couple of extra base hits.
I'll tell you one thing, in this whole series, Josh, we haven't seen any Georgia pitchers throw anything straight. There has been some tremendous movement. It's like they're up there throwing a wiffle ball, and I'm sure that is under the tutelage of Wes Johnson, just how he has these guys manipulate that ball, but sometimes it's hard to keep it in the zone.
A free pass for Damian Ruiz. And a big opportunity for the Razorbacks to not just answer, but take the lead here in the bottom of the first with Camden Kojal at the plate. Daniel Jackson's going to come out and talk with Grant Edwards. So this is a pitcher, a veteran who's making his first start of the season, yes, but he started 15 games each of the past 2 years for New Orleans. So he's used to being out there.
Yeah, I think the key right here for Camden Kojal is to see the baseball up. I saw Nate Thompson, the Arkansas hitting coach, kind of motion, hey, do not chase one down.
But so far he's thrown 9 pitches and none of them for strikes. The only strike against the Razorbacks was that pitch clock violation against Ruiz. There you go.
That is right where Edwards wants to live, down and away from lefties. I can tell you what will happen. If you try to pull that baseball, you're going to ground it out to the second baseman into a double play.
This is where the Razorbacks really struggled yesterday. They were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. And although they hung around until the end of the ball game, the big hit just continued to elude them. Kojal hitting .500 on the year with runners in scoring position. The 2-2 swung on and hit high in the air. Straight away center field at the track, reaching up, making the catch. Both runners will tag and advance. So it's a productive out for Camden Kojal.
Boy, that ball was just hit like a routine fly ball, and it carried all the way to the track in center field. You can see how the wind really propelled that out there, but that kind of worked like a sacrifice bunt, so both runners did move up.
In the post game yesterday, Dave Van Horn was kind of asked about the wind blowing out, the weather, and he said, yeah, we're still going to have to do all the other things, you know, associated with that, like advancing runners was one that he mentioned. So Kojal able to do the job.
Well, Wes Johnson is already making a pitching move right here in the first inning.
Razorbacks with 2 in scoring position, just 1 out in this first inning. We'll introduce you to the new pitcher when we come back. Georgia Bulldogs forced to go to the bullpen here in the first inning. They turn to right-hander Paul Farley.
Yeah, Farley's a 4-pitch mix guy. Throws the fastball, slider, cutter, and changeup. Kind of a 3/4 release guy. Everything's pretty hard what he throws. Pretty consistently, either righties or lefties hitting against him. Opponent's hitting .252 off the right. You see his numbers there. Anytime you have a strikeout per inning, that's always really good, and only the 12 walks. So he's going to fill up the strike zone, and that's what Coach Wes Johnson wants to see out of his reliever.
Well, game 3 has been kind of by committee. They've been looking for that person to kind of anchor things down. They've had a multitude of guys trying to fill it. Kenny Ishikawa, who had to miss some time with a little bit of an injury. He's in the batting lineup today. Terrific two-way player. They had also had Matt Scott make a few starts in there as well. Two on and one out here in the bottom of the first as Ryder Helfrich steps in.
Well, defensively, the Bulldogs are going to concede a run, even on the corners of their back, so they're going to try to go across the diamond, get out number 2. A couple breaking balls off the plate, and Helfrich being pretty patient. Helfrich is one of the top guys drawing walks in the whole entire SEC.
Close, but just missed there outside. Yeah, 3rd in the league, in fact, entering the series.
This might be one of those days. Dave Van Horn usually doesn't give his players a green light. With the way the wind's blowing out, you might see Helfrich take a hack right here.
Didn't get the chance. That is walk number 40 on the year for Helfrich, and the Beer Hats come out here early at Baum Walker.
The Hogs have bases loaded, and they have yet to get a hit. 3 walks and a fly ball to deep center field. But the Bulldogs, with 1 ground ball, can get out of this and avoid a big crooked number.
Another violation here before we even see the first pitch, but this time it goes against pitcher and not hitter.
If you're Nolan Souza, you've got to be patient. Get something up in the zone that you can drive to the outfield.
Souza hitting .333 this year when they're juiced.
Boy, that breaking ball by Farley's got some tremendous sweep to it, but he just can't control it right now.
It's kind of a similar situation to yesterday against Aoki, the reliever who went 5 innings. Would fall behind in the count. Razorbacks thought they were in a good spot offensively, and then he would battle back. High chopper. Charging in on it is Branch and has no play. Nolan Souza ties the game here in the bottom of the first inning.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but just a chopper over there. I think that's a really heads-up play by Branch, the shortstop, not to throw that baseball and really try to create something out of nothing. And
just missed the upper edge of the zone there to Micah New.
Still just 1 out. He's got really good speed, kind of tough to double up.
in a hitter's count. And how about this? Micah New hitting .667 this year with the bases loaded.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Getting the wind blowing straight out to right field.
That was almost a must-have strike for Paul Farley.
That's a great pitch. You can see the movement is definitely there. It's Micah New just being a little too amped up.
Just at the upper edge. The crowd didn't like that. No matter the tilt on it, when it starts out that high, nobody wants to see that one break back down for a strike. The base is loaded, 2-2 pitch. Ground ball off the mound and back through. Ruiz in to score. Here comes Helfrich. Hogs move in front, 3-1.
Just a really good job with 2 strikes by Micah New. Just split those middle infielders. Really no chance for Lujo to throw that runner out to play. Helfrich runs really well, and that's going to bring out Wes Johnson again. I tell you what, it's the Georgia Bulldogs pitching staff that kind of dug themselves into a hole. 3 walks have all come around to score. And you always talk about it in baseball, Josh, man, those free base runners that you give other teams just give you nightmares.
It didn't hurt Georgia too terribly bad yesterday. Zach Stewart, the hitter. Five of 6 reaching safely in this bottom of the first inning for Dave Van Horn's team. Good job of the catcher Jackson there to keep that one close. He's still got a double play in order to try to get out of the inning.
And I think this is going to be one of those games that you're going to have to score a touchdown, maybe a pair of touchdowns to try to win. Georgia does have a right-hander up and throwing in the bullpen.
Not really much to entice Razorback hitters to take a swing on either of the first 2 pitches so far. Stewart knew he was going to get one there. They go to second for 1, back to first, double play. How about that? 3-6-3, twin killing to get out of the inning. Razorbacks 3-1, they lead it. It's a return trip to Fayetteville for Wes Johnson, who was a coach here for a short time, very successful, and no surprise, Troy, to see all the success he's having here early on in his Georgia Bulldogs career.
Boy, they've done an outstanding job, Coach Johnson and then their whole entire staff. They've really gone in the portal really hard the last few years. I'm not sure which number's which, but one year it's 23 and next year it's 24 new faces, and so that's like rebuilding your team year after year, and they've done a great job.
43 wins in each of his first 2 seasons. Couldn't hold up the swing that time. Michael O'Shaughnessy, the DH. First of 3 left-handed bats in the lineup. They sit in spots 5, 7, and 9 for Coach Johnson. Said it grazed him.
Just got a piece, and it's all by sound because you definitely can't see it. And there was a cutter that just started a little too far inside, and the Bulldogs got a leadoff runner on.
Brings up Ryan Wynn. Takes a first pitch strike. RBI extra base hit in each of the first 2 games for the junior from Douglasville, Georgia.
But the only blemish is that Hunter Dietz had was a pair of solo home runs, and one was hit by Ryan Wynn.
In for a strike, 0-2.
And this Georgia team really doesn't run much, and O'Shaughnessy is yet to attempt a stolen base. He's going to stay put over there at first.
He struck him out. Well, that'll make Dave Van Horn happy with the leadoff man reaching base, then coming right back with a strikeout. This team's starting to play some really good baseball. There was some certainly growing moments early on in the season. But winning game 1 of this series, of course, goes a long way. And if they could pick up a series win here, certainly reason to believe we're on the right track. Still a ways to go as the first pitch here put into play by Brennan Hudson. And tracked down by Ruiz for 2 away.
Yeah, Dave Van Horn's been really playing with that lineup, kind of moving the pieces around. And I really like the lineup he has in there today. Adds a little extra thump in there. Tell you what, there's not many better in college baseball of how to manage the game than Dave Van Horn.
There's the shortstop, Colby Branch. Branch, a hit in each of the first 2 games, has reached safely 4 times. Fouls off the 1-1. This Georgia Bulldogs team 6 trips to the College World Series in their history. The last time, though, was 2008. One-two from Coyle. How about back after the hit by pitch? Retires 3 in a row, 2 by way of strikeout.
Really nice job by Parker Coyle. Leaning on that cutter, goes down and into Branch. He foul tipped it, but Ryder Helfrich hung on. Hogs still up 3-1.
Three to 1 lead for Arkansas. Decisive game of this series. Razorbacks coming to the plate, and they didn't have to take the bat off their shoulder too many times in that first inning, Troy. 3 of the first 4 batters walked, and then after that you get a couple of hits. And
boy, how big was that double play ground ball that Farley threw? That was a really nice turn by Hudson, the first baseman.
3-6-3 for their 26th double play of the year. These are 2 exceptionally good fielding teams. Georgia coming in at 982, and the Razorbacks at 976. In there for a strike to Kuhio Aloy.
Kuhio has seen a lot of breaking balls and off speed, and I think every time he gets a fastball, it just almost catches him off guard.
Wasn't in the lineup yesterday. Went 0 for 4 on Thursday Dave Van Horn was asked about Kuhio's performance Thursday. He said, well, you know, there was one where he did hit the ball hard. Another where we thought he had a good chance to maybe crank one, but this one in the air to right field and will die off into the glove of Kenny Ishikawa. But there's just too much equity there built up with Kuhio Aloy. You can survive a few bad games in a row, and it's a guy that you can't keep him down for long.
Well, he's just one of those guys you feel like that if he ever gets hot, he can just go on an absolute heater and hit, 5, 6, 7 home runs in a week. He's got that kind of a swing, and I think he's just been pressing a little bit. And I'll tell you what, when you're pressing, the baseball looks like a BB, and you don't pick up spin, and it's so easy to hit when you're relaxed and confident. And then, boy, I'll tell you what, that's why this game of baseball is so tough. It's a really good job by Paul Farley, really kind of settling in, hitting his spots. I mean, look where this pitch is right here. That is absolutely perfect. Might be down a little bit. Tell you what, we talked about how good these catchers are. I think Jackson stole one for him right there.
Pompey able to take that pitch. Razorback third baseman had a hit on Thursday, 0 for 4 yesterday. Got him with a breaking ball. Good pitch from Paul Farley, and he looked confident.
Yeah, the bottom fell out of that one. That was a really nice pitch. And as a hitter, you're thinking you're going to get the breaking ball down and away right there. And that one almost kind of backed up on him and then went down and in. Got right under the bat of TJ Pompey.
So back to the top of the order, Carter Rutenbar takes a strike at the lower edge. Drew a 4-pitch walk to start the Razorback first.
I tell you what, that's really helping Paul Farley is he is getting ahead of these Razorback hitters in this inning, and then with his stuff, he can nibble just a little bit more.
Rutenbar hitting .322 now through 31 games played, making his 21st start here this afternoon.
Josh Rutenbar saw a changeup in game 1 on Thursday night and hit one. It was over 400 feet, hit it over the scoreboard in right center field for a second home run of the year. And you haven't seen a lot of power out of Carter Rutenbar, but we have seen a freshman that's been very patient at the plate.
In that swing, too, if you take the bat out of his hands, it looked like he was about to deliver a pitch from the stretch with how high his knee came up, just waiting on that off speed.
Yeah, he definitely loads up for sure. It's one of those guys, it's just a timing mechanism, and well, you better be on when you have that high of a knee kick.
Making his 15th consecutive start here today. And 8th straight game hitting leadoff. Payoff pitch.
Just a really good job by the freshman, keeping those hands back and able to fight off a really good breaking ball. The big thing that I've seen out of Rutenbar is his ability to lay off pitches down and away. Seems like that's really gets freshmen quite often.
Able to battle off another one, making it difficult here on Paul Farley.
At some point, it almost puts some extra pressure on that pitcher because you've got full count, you don't want to walk him, and then you're saying, hey, I've thrown 3-4 in a row.
Just outside, ball 4.
That's just a great quality at bat right there by Carter Rutenbar. Fought off some great pitches by Farley, had some tremendous movement. And again, that's what happens. It almost kind of like the batter wears the pitcher down, and then they get in the back of their head going, man, I've thrown 4 straight strikes, and now you kind of guide that last one just a little bit. Farley delivered that pitch right as the pitch clock was going to 0.
Damian Ruiz might have been thinking that he would get one back after he was called for a violation. Started off his first plate appearance with a strike against him.
It's that tight slider cutter right there by Farley that kind of starts up out of the zone, and I think that these Arkansas hitters are just giving up on that pitch just a little too early. Again, Rutenbar over at first base, not your typical leadoff hitter. Attempted 3 stolen bases on the season. He's been successful 2 times. Farley's going, I don't care about those stats, Troy. I'm going to go from there and pick anyway.
Just getting the repetition in for whenever somebody like maybe Ruiz gets on base. Up high, 3-1 now.
Daniel Jackson's not a guy that you want to try to steal a base on. He's got a over 70 grade arm, which is just an absolute cannon.
On the upper edge for a strike.
That cutter has been really good. Rutenbar will be off the pit with the pitch. I'm surprised that Hudson's over there holding him on still. Don't want him to get too big of a head start.
Payoff. So Farley's had mixed results in SEC play so far, but maybe his best outing coming in against South Carolina when he went 4 2/3 scoreless while only allowing 1 hit.
This is going to be pitch 39. He's thrown 19 balls and 19 strikes. Kind of effectively wild at this point.
Another payoff. Ruiz turns and hits it a ton to left field. Leaping up and off the glove at the wall by Allen. Rutenbar coming around to score.
Josh, I think that Allen has a beat on that ball. I think it gets in his glove, and then the collision with the wall. Nope, it definitely hit right off the end of that glove. You can see the wind just kept carrying that around, and with Rutenbar being able to start being full count, that's how he is allowed to come around and score. If that wasn't a full count right there, a 2-2 pitch or something, he's not scoring on that pitch. Again, another walk by the Razorbacks comes around to score. All 4 of their runs have been guys that have drawn a base on balls.
Kojal going after the first pitch. Well, he's had a chance to see plenty of them.
Camden Kojal's really itching to get a big hit for these Razorbacks. Talked on the broadcast yesterday. He's hitting sub 200 in conference play, and you just feel like that he's about ready to break out.
little friendly fire there into his own dugout. Did have a hit yesterday. Hitless on Thursday, but drove in a run. One of 7 players in the SEC with at least 40 runs driven in entering the weekend.
You can definitely see the numbers right there, the difference between the SEC games and the non-conference games, and you just feel like the Camden's just pressing just a little bit in these conference ball games. Obviously, the pitching is better as well, too.
There you go. That might get you going. An absolute bomb. Nearly cleared the development center in right field.
Boy, big swing by Camden Kojal. That's the one he was looking for. You're right, Josh. It was hit 386 feet. It was a pitch up in the zone, and Kojal did not miss it. And with that wind blowing out, there is no way the park was going to hold it.
It's only the second home run that Farley's given up this year. Ball 1 to Ryder Helfrich.
I'll tell you what, the way this wind's blowing, it's going to take a lot of runs. I don't think there's going to be a lead that's going to be safe today, especially with the way these Bulldogs swing the bat.
Hard ground ball to the right side, scooped up by Ryan Wynn. Tosses to first. Farley and the Bulldogs out of the inning, but the Razorbacks put up another 3 spot, and it's a 6-1 advantage.
I cannot help my fixation.
The real fun just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on.
Yep, it's not far off. We'll be here before we know it. That's a look at how many SEC teams do they think will get into the NCAA tournament. Well, no surprise there. Both of these trying to find their way to Omaha. An Omaha native, Camden Kojal, with all the fireworks in the second inning. That 2-run homer, another 3-run frame for the Razorbacks, their 3rd of the series. In a commanding 6-1 lead, but as you pointed out, on a day like today with the wind blowing out against the nation's leader in home runs, a 5-run lead doesn't feel like it's that much.
Yeah, this Georgia Bulldog team can go deep 1 through 9, and this is a guy they're glad to get back into the lineup, Kenny Ishikawa. He said he's a 2-way guy. Will actually get on the bump on occasion as well, too.
And they had him in there as the number 3 starter at certain points this season. Took a ball off the foot that kind of held him out, but they feel good about where he's at and getting him back going again. Georgia scored more runs in the 3rd inning this year than any other, and they've scored in the 3rd inning of both games of this series. We'll see how it plays out here. Ishikawa, one headed for the gap in right center field. Aggressive turn on first, and into second with a leadoff double.
Really good 2-strike approach right there by Ishikawa. Just kept that barrel in the zone for a long time. Probably a pitch that Parker Coyle felt like it caught a little too much of the plate, but Mike Anu was really swung around with 2 strikes in that left center field gap, and no chance for him to get there and cut that baseball off and keep Ishikawa to first base. Nice double right there. It's a good way to start to try to score some runs.
Coming back to the top of the order now as they'll get a second look at Coyle. Trey Phelps takes ball one. Phelps worked a full count, fouled off a payoff pitch, and then Parker Coyle got him looking to start the ball game. Coyle's last start, May of 2023. A non-conference game against Lipscomb where he went 2 scoreless, hitless innings. But a sparkling 2.10 ERA here in 2026. That's off 2 gloves on the left side. Ishikawa had to make sure that that was going to sneak through before he could take off, but still able to get down to third base.
Boy, off the bat, it looked like Poppy was going to be able to come up with that baseball, but you can see it's just great effort, and then the second deflection off of Camden Kojal.
It's not often I get to write single 5, 6, 7 in the scorebook. First pitch here to Daniel Jackson. Wynn carrying it to deep right center, and it carries on out of here. Daniel Jackson is homered for the second time, and Georgia right back in the ball game.
Well, I tell you the thing that really impresses me about Daniel Jackson is a guy with all that power. He does not try to pull the baseball, Josh. He lets that ball travel deep into the strike zone. He understands which way the wind's blowing and where that power is. But when you hit that ball the opposite field, and he knew it was gone when he hit it, then it just allows you to drive that baseball so much better. That is a huge swing right there, and this is a 2-run ball game.
Rylan Luho.
We don't see that happen very often. Yeah, sorry, Josh. But yeah, the catcher dropped the baseball and still called a strike. That might be the last time that Daniel Jackson sees strikes. They might just put number 4 up and start walking him today.
Might as well. This one turned on. Hooking. Just foul.
Well, the wind almost kept that baseball fair. Arkansas's got a little activity in the bullpen as well. Looks like Gabe Gackle warming up.
Lined right at Pompey. He's able to make the reaction and the catch.
Boy, right at 100 miles an hour off the bat. That was a pellet by Luho, but again, TJ Pompey, I think that was self-defense on that catch. Doesn't get any easier right here, Josh, with Henry Allen coming up to the plate.
Yeah, the man who hit that big one you were talking about earlier. They got him to pop up first time to the plate to end the first inning. Goes after the first pitch. Over 400 home runs hit now in the Wes Johnson era. Keep in mind, folks, not even done with his 3rd year yet.
Even with 2 strikes as a pitcher going up against these Georgia Bulldog hitters, you have got to try to put them away. You've got 5 or 6 guys on this team that already are double-figure home runs in this season.
Parker Coyle making his 61st appearance here today. 4th-year Razorback, just his 4th time in a starting role. taking the payoff pitch for a free pass. Henry Allen aboard here with one out in the third.
Well, we saw in the first inning that the Bulldogs were able to roll a double play up and get out of an inning to avoid any more damage. It feels like that Arkansas would love to have that same opportunity right here. You've got a guy in O'Shaughnessy that two things are going against him. One, he hits the ball really hard, and two, kind of a bigger guy, not the most fleet of foot, so you've got a chance for a double play.
Hogs have turned 29 of them this year, third most in the SEC.
Henry Allen over at first base has only attempted 2 stolen bases. He is 2 for 2.
Coyle pitched twice in that series win at Alabama last weekend. 3 scoreless innings, only gave up 2 hits. Foul tip there, held on to by Ryder Helfrich. Strikeout number 4 for Parker Coyle.
Again, just really leaning on that cutter against those left-handers. O'Shaughnessy felt like he was right on that one, and he almost got it, and that's going to bring out Dave Van Horn, and Arkansas is going to go to the bullpen and bring out Gabe Gackel.
Razorbacks holding a lead, but a tight ball game. We'll formally introduce you to the new pitcher when we come back. Parker Coyle for the Arkansas Razorbacks. First start in a long time, and against one of the nation's best hitting teams. 2 2/3 today, 4 hits, strikes out 4 batters. But one big swing this inning, a 3-run homer by Daniel Jackson. Coyle does a good job after that, though, to get a couple of outs, and now hands the ball off to Gabe Gackel.
Yeah, Gackel's been, I think he's much more comfortable out of the bullpen. I think a lot of times when you're in relief, you don't have to overthink things. You don't have a long time to think about your start. You just kind of don't know when you're going to get called upon. And, you're going to see the fastball in the mid-90s, might even hit 97. Pretty good overhand breaking ball as well. And then against lefties, he'll mix in the changeup.
Deals a first pitch strike to Ryan Wynn. 4 appearances now coming out of the bullpen for Gackel, including the 2 innings on Thursday, and has only given up 2 earned runs now in the 4 relief appearances. As Wynn fouls this one out of play.
Yeah, I was talking to Matt Hobbs, Josh, and even about Gackel. I said, some pitchers are different. I said, is Gackel kind of one of those back-to-back day guys, or does he need a day off in between his outings in relief? He said no, he definitely needs a day in between.
This ball is hit well to deep center field. It is gone. Ryan Wynn ties the ball game. Second homer for the Bulldogs here in the 3rd inning.
Well, you just felt like it was going to be a slugfest today, Josh, with the wind blowing out. I don't think that the wind had any effect on that baseball. It was absolutely smoked. 105 to center field. That was estimated at 441 feet. That was a hanging breaking ball, and Gackel, he didn't even watch it. He knew the second that ball was hit, it was going to be way out.
Sixth home run that Gackel's allowed this year. Ryan Wynn with his 4th homer of the season, 2nd of the series. Brennan Hudson takes ball 1.
But Josh, you just can't even catch your breath against this Georgia lineup. Hudson with 12 home runs and 27 RBIs on the season. These guys can just drive the baseball to all fields.
This ball hit well. Towering shot down the right field line. It's gone. And the Bulldogs move in front with Brennan Hudson's 13th of the year.
But Georgia's doing what Georgia does, is hit home runs, and they do not get cheated. They are not wall scrapers by any stretch of the imagination. Looked like a changeup that was left up and out over the plate and just ran right into the barrel of Hudson.
3 in the inning. They go back-to-back with Wynn and Hudson, and now Colby Branch continues the hit parade. Sends one back up the middle. Bulldogs batting around here in the third inning.
I was just going to say that. Is flip this whole lineup all the way over. Arkansas looking for that elusive third out.
Kenny Ishikawa, who started the inning with a double to right center field.
Well, that's one way to take the air out of this stadium. Put a big crooked 6 on the board in the third inning. You talked about the Bulldogs love to score in the third inning. They've sure done it today.
There's something about it. Ishikawa, that's a bat that they'd like to see consistently in the lineup. Again, had that injury, and then, of course, trying to go around his pitching outings, but only his 15th start in the hitting lineup here today, only with 42 at-bats. But a guy hitting 286 with an OBP of 434. He's the only one in the Bulldogs lineup that hasn't homered, but you give him enough at-bats, I'm sure, and eventually he will. Popped up. Left side of the infield, Pompey able to track it down, and the side finally retired. 6 runs, though, in the inning for the Bulldogs. They go yard 3 times, and it's a 7-6 lead for the visitors. This is not a day that you can count on to try to help your ERA if you're a pitcher. 7-6. We're not even through 3 innings yet. For the Georgia Bulldogs, though, they'll turn to one of their most trusted arms, Matt Scott, out of the bullpen for the 8th time this year, Troy.
Yeah, big-bodied right-hander. He's 6'7", 241. Scott's going to throw in the low to mid-90s. He's touched 97 this year with that fastball. We'll mix in the slider, cutter, and changeup as well. He's had some preseason All-American honors as Scott. He's got definitely got some good stuff and a live arm. He's also been one of their starters at times. So definitely a guy that they could ride the rest of this game out if he gets on a roll.
One 2/3 innings of relief for Paul Farley. Gave up 4 hits. All 4 of the runs against him were earned. He's the man that took over for Grant Edwards, who was making his first start of the season today. But
if you're Arkansas, you have to kind of flush that inning and think, we're still only down 1 run. It feels like with that huge 6-run third by the Bulldogs, you have to think, okay, you feel like you're down 3 or 4, but you're really not.
Nolan Souza taking a cut at the first pitch.
There's just something different hitting off a guy that's that big. It just looks like they're about 48 feet instead of 60 feet 6 inches.
A lot different trying to pick up the baseball off of him than compared to the starter, Grant Edwards, who threw sidearm.
Yeah, definitely straight over the top. You talk about pitchers with a lot of tilt. When you're 6'7" and you're over the top, you're going to have to throw that ball almost like you're throwing it off a mountain.
Low and in to even the count.
I think that last pitch is where the one that's been giving Souza some fits, chasing that breaking ball down and in. And if he can lay off that one, he's going to have a lot more success this season.
This one lines right at Colby Branch. Well hit, just not in the right spot. And Matt Scott able to start the outing.
Some really good positioning by the Georgia Bulldogs.
Branch was trying to illustrate to his teammates the knuckle on that ball as it was coming at him. Fellas, you have no idea how hard that play was just now.
It was dancing all over the place.
Let me tell you. Branch fielding it at 972 over there at short. You know, if you're above 970 as a team, you're championship level defense, and shortstop position usually the number that takes the biggest hit. But 972 over there?
That's really solid. He's just been money at shortstop.
Micah New with a 2 RBI base hit his first time up. 33 runs driven in now for the first-year Razorback from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
That would pitch definitely sailed on my Scott, and but 96 on that last fastball. The velocity's definitely there.
Swung under that pitch, and it's a full count now.
Really good cutter right there by Matt Scott. See if he doesn't try to go with another one down and away from Micah New.
Micah New will take the free pass, and that's the fifth walk already of the ball game for the Razorbacks.
Well, so far, the other 4 have come around to score for Arkansas. They've had a lot of success with the base on balls and some offensive production. And that is why they put the netting in front of the dugout. When the stadium was open, it did not have the protective netting. It had the railing, but it was wide open, and balls like that are why that's been put up. Definitely a safety thing. And this is going to be an offensive timeout for Nate Thompson. I think he's wanting to talk to Zach Stewart about, hey, you need to see the baseball up. Don't really want to chase anything down and in. Wind's blowing out. We want a ball in the air.
Tell you what, for this pitcher, though, Matt Scott, he's a valuable asset to have on the roster. The transfer from Stanford, and a guy that helped the Cardinal get to the College World Series back in 2023. So to have a guy on your roster that knows what it takes and knows what it's like to get to the biggest stage,
Yeah, that experience is definitely huge. Mike Anu had about a 3-foot lead right there. I don't think he was. Maybe he was trying to bait Scott in there to have a short lead and shuffle off, but I think he's going to stay put with the left-handed hitting Zach Stewart at the plate, create that big hole.
One and one now. They gave Scott the start against Florida last weekend. A little bit of a rough go, and the long ball was kind of the issue there as well. Gave up 3 home runs and 1 1/3. But before that, his last 3 SEC outings, which covered nearly 9 innings without giving up a run. 9 strikeouts to just 2 walks during a key stretch there of just a week.
Stewart did not get cheated on that 2-1 swing.
Two and two with 1 on and 1 out. Crowds really filed in here today for this rubber match of the series. As usual, though, but you know, when on a Saturday and there's a lot of youth sports and things going on that could occupy the schedules, still another full house. 2-2 pitch. Stewart swings and drives one to deep left center in front of the warning track. Henry Allen makes the catch, and Mike Anu back to first base.
Kind of hit that one into the jet stream a little bit. Didn't quite get it lifted up. Anything that hits a left field might get knocked down a little bit. The balls hit to right field, they're definitely going to fly.
Mike Anu at first, has stolen 10 bases this year. Taken off, pitched low, and the throw not in time. Well, the tying run in scoring position now for Kuhio Aloy.
Matt Scott is about 1-3 to 1-5 to the plate, and anything above 1-3 gives a base stealer an opportunity to steal that base. I think that's a good move by Dave Van Horn.
Good block there by Jackson.
With first base open, this is going to be pretty interesting. Kuhio Aloy has been scuffling a little bit this season, but a guy that is always dangerous at the plate. And see how Matt Scott and Daniel Jackson approach this pitch right here. Just nibble on that outside corner. I think I'm Georgia right here. I just walk him.
Might have been the case, the old intentional yet unintentional. Not much to hit, and Kuhio knew it. So the second walk of the inning. And it brings up TJ Pompey.
TJ Pompey's been definitely a very streaky hitter. Had a really rough start to the conference play and then was the player of the week last week.
Little jam flared right to the shortstop, Colby Branch. Matt Scott gets out of the inning. A couple left stranded for the Razorbacks. Georgia leads it 7-6.
Well, I tell you what, Wes Johnson has definitely made his way around college baseball, and that is a pretty impressive resume. And it even started in high school baseball in the state of Arkansas, and then you see that stint with the Minnesota Twins being the big league pitching coach, and then came back for that 1 year at LSU, and then now he's at the helm of Georgia and doing exceptionally well. Just a great guy to talk to. I tell you what, he's really fun, super knowledgeable, and you just love to pick his brain. He's kind of one of the first guys that really came out and really embraced all the analytics in pitching.
I can't argue with the success that he has had. Helped the Razorbacks get to a College World Series Finals. Won the national title, of course, with LSU.
That is definitely not what you want to do if you're Gabe Gackle.
Trey Phelps, that's the 23rd time he's been hit by a pitch this year. Entered the weekend with 8 more than the second place guy in the SEC. And there's an art form to it, but there was not much that needed to be left to the imagination on that one.
Well, I tell you what, you talk about a scary hitter, a guy that's absolutely locked in at the plate. That is Daniel Jackson. He just exudes confidence right now.
Plan of attack against him is just don't throw him a strike or anywhere near the zone. First pitch home runs his first 2 times.
Well, both balls have been hit to the opposite field, so you might want to try to see if you can't come in and jam him a little bit more, but they are staying away right now. That's how big that hit batter was, because now you can't, if you walk Jackson, now you got a runner in scoring position with no outs. I think you almost have to go fastball in.
Breaking ball for a strike. Came back with another one. Gets him to pop up. And it's off the glove. The wind carried it back on the descent. Right off the edge of the glove of Kojal.
Yeah, this is one of those days that the ball's just going to blow all over the place, and you can't, if you're an outfielder, you just can't give up on anything too early. You can see the ball just continue to carry over to Kojal's left. That's a big no out right there for Arkansas.
That was a roller coaster of an at bat. Started him off 3-0. Thinking, okay, they're just going to put him on here, and then Gackle comes battling back. You think you've got the out. Here's another one. You won't put this one in the bank till it's in the glove. The infield fly in effect, though. And they make the catch for good measure and keep the runners at bay.
You feel like if you're Arkansas, you're just basically playing with fire right now with this power of Georgia and the way that wind's blowing out. They don't need any assistance, but boy, in their home field, the ball really carries at Foley Field, and so they've learned how to hit that baseball in the air.
Razorbacks scored 3 runs in each of the first 2 innings, and then Georgia answered with a 3-home run, 6-inning third. That's where we stand right now. 7-6 Bulldogs. In for strike two.
Probably one of the best breaking balls Gackle's thrown so far. That was just absolutely dotted on the outside corner, and where the middle infield for Arkansas is really pinched to try to turn that double play.
One, two. Helfrich and Rutenbar both go after it, and it's the first baseman who ends up with it.
Rutenbar had to navigate around the first base coach as he was trying to find his way to make that catch. Pretty good concentration right there.
Well done by the freshman from Midlothian, Texas. Michael O'Shaughnessy with 2 outs. Got hit by a pitch and struck out thus far. Two of 4 with an RBI in the win yesterday. Fouled down. 4 of his 10 homers this year have come in SEC play, and that's tied for the team lead.
Well, he really has those hands backing up around his head, kind of wraps that bat a little bit. Just looks like he's just cocked and loaded, doesn't he?
Indeed. Right on cue. Loops one into right field. Phelps coming around to score, and now waved around. Jackson, head first slide, he's safe.
Really good 2-strike approach by O'Shaughnessy. You see Helfrich having to go out and get to that baseball, and then he drops the baseball as well, too. That's a tremendous slide and great speed. We talk about how athletic Daniel Jackson is, but that 6'5" speed really came in handy there. Look how big that drop was by Camden Kojal.
Ryan Wynn, who homered last time up, he was the first batter to face Gabe Gackle. Well, let's go back to that third inning swing from Ryan Wynn.
Just a great job of staying back on that breaking ball. Hit that one over 440 feet right off the batter's eye.
Appeal to first, says yes, he did. Strikeout for Gabe Gackle to end the inning, but a couple of unearned runs for the Bulldogs. They pad the lead 9-6 as we head for the bottom of the fourth.
Now the home of MLB.tv.
So all out-of-market games, live or on demand, plus all your favorite sports on ESPN. We need to tell the people, Carl.
We're doing it right now.
ESPN is now the home of MLB.tv. All out-of-market games, live or on demand, all in one place.
Back to work for the right-hander Matt Scott. Came on last inning, walked a couple of batters, but was able to get out of it unscathed. It's a guy that's really pitched well this year, a 3.45 ERA and a near 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. As that's back up the middle. Carter Rutenbar, top of the order. Single here to start the bottom of the fourth.
Saw a graphic there where 11 players taking the draft pick a season ago for Arkansas. I mean, it was absolutely amazing, the team that they put together and the talent that Dave Van Horn and staff recruit year in, year out. I think that's a big hit for Arkansas. They've got to put a run on the board right here after 8 runs scored without an answer by the Bulldogs. Again, I still don't think any lead is safe in this ball game. You're going to see some big-time crooked numbers put up by both teams. Feels like we played a whole game and it's just the bottom of the 4th.
Already over an hour and a half old. Hitters count now to Damian Ruiz. One of those players drafted in the first round a year ago. Bahiva Aloy hit his first home run of the minor league season a week ago. Playing in high A ball.
If you're down 3 runs, I know the wind's blowing out, but you probably not going to see Ruiz swing right here.
Some of the clouds clearing off. It's really brightened up the field here in the bottom of the 4th. Certainly will warm things up down there on the field level.
You still see that Matt Scott blowing on his hand, trying to keep those fingertips warm. Just off the plate. I think Matt Scott was kind of going, I think thought that caught the corner. I think Jackson had a comment for home plate umpire Mike Fichter saying, was that one out? Pretty close to me.
Especially for a guy who doesn't walk many. That's his 3rd walk of this outing. Tying run will come to the plate for Arkansas here in the bottom of the 4th.
Normally see the catcher coming out, but the veteran shortstop Branch going there and talking to his right-hander saying, hey, we've got your back. Just keep pumping strikes.
Well, let's go back to that 2nd inning for Camden Kojal.
We got a pitch up in the zone, and he did not miss it. Tell you what, that was a lot of momentum for Arkansas, and they've definitely lost that. They'd love to see it come back right here.
Kojal now with 45 runs driven in. Easily the team lead.
Has that average up over 300 to 301 now.
Similar situation he was in the 1st inning, though. First 2 batters to the frame reached, and then a deep fly out to center field, able to advance both. A lot of baseball left to be played in this one, and at the very least, they're thinking, let's just find a way to advance runners. Dave Van Horn talked about it yesterday after the game in preparation for today's.
I think if you're Camden Kojal right here, you just have to let this at-bat come to you, not expand that strike zone.
Popped up. It's the center fielder, Rylan Lujo, finally comes in and takes charge. It's a big out for Matt Scott in Georgia, though.
They've got an opportunity to get a ground ball and get out of this inning. probably the most consistent hitter for Arkansas throughout the whole entire season, up to the plate right here in Ryder Helfrich.
Has walked now once in all 3 games of the series. Helfrich tees off on one. Deep left center, it's gone. Team leading 13th homer of the year to tie the ball game.
Just a hanging breaking ball, and Ryder Helfrich does not miss it. About 105 off the bat. That ball was hit 424 feet. And no doubt are out into the hog pan, and that's the big swing that these Razorback fans were looking for. And again, this is just like a heavyweight fight. This is just blow after blow by a couple of championship teams.
Nolan Souza first pitch, bounces one to the right side. Ryan wins on it, gets the out. Good bounce back from Matt Scott there after the 3-run homer.
The Hogs have 6 walks today. 5 have come around to score runs.
It's the key, isn't it? That self-infliction. That's something that they were able to survive on the other side of things, even though giving up 2 home runs on Thursday. No walks in front of them.
Well, then you look over on the Georgia side, and they've scored 2 runs on one on a hit batter and an E6. So the free base runners have cost both teams in this ball game. So what's the odds on anyone getting to 20 runs today? It could be pretty interesting.
It's just one of those days, too, where you, in very few times, but say, did we make the right decision by instituting the run rule?
I'll tell you, it's been absolutely crazy. More runs than hits for both ball clubs.
Routine grounded to short. Colby Branch fires over to first, retires Micah New. And the side retired, but not before Ryder Helfrich ties the ball game.
Well, after a single by Carter Rutenbar and a walk to Damian Ruiz, just a no-doubter to left field for Ryder Helfrich. This game is tied at 9. Josh, the Georgia Bulldogs had another huge 3rd inning. And surprise, it's Daniel Jackson with the home run, and you can see Parker Coyle goes, I can't believe that thing got out of here. They replaced him with Gabe Gackel. He came in, faced Ryan Wynn, and he went deep as well. And they weren't done yet. That was a big fly by, who was that hit that one? Hudson, the first baseman, and Gabe Gackel is just absolutely shocked. It was 3 home runs in that inning. And now Arkansas is going to go to the junior left-hander Colin Fisher. Fisher's one that started many games on Sunday, and he's going to be around the low 90s with the fastball, kind of sweeping breaking ball, and he'll throw that changeup to right-handers.
Just second time out of the bullpen this year. Holding opponents to an abysmal 234 average. Brennan Hudson here leading things off. That home run he hit in the 3rd inning is 13th of the year.
Fisher pitching from that far third base side of the rubber, try to get a little bit better angle. This looked like a cutter. And there's some big time sweep on that breaking ball.
There you go. That's the way to start the outing.
They're really pulling a string right there on the 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball. You see Hudson way out in front of this one. That one had a little hang time on it. See Hudson really trying to extend that swing and slow it down a little bit.
First pitch strike to Colby Branch, who's 1 for 2.
Josh, we've only had 2 zeros put up on the board. Georgia did not score in the top of the second, and Arkansas did not score in the bottom of the third, and everything else has got a bunch of crooked numbers.
Yeah, a trio of 3-run frames for Arkansas thus far. Of course, that big 6 spot we just showed you from Georgia earlier. Kozel fires across, and that just kind of died, dipped down and forced a stretch from Rutenbaugh, not able to bring it in. It's almost like that ball had brakes on it.
Yeah, see, Kozel plays through the baseball, kind of has his momentum going, but just didn't really get much on it, and Rutenbaugh just couldn't come up with it. It's going to be an E3.
Certainly a gift, though, for Colby Branch in a game like this, of course, where we see 4 home runs from Georgia already. Got to limit what you're giving them for free right there. It's been another really good fielding season for Arkansas. 976 coming in. A little bit lower than what they had been used to, though, with 4 straight seasons of fielding it at 980 or better. Top 10 in the nation all 4 years, the last 4 campaigns.
It's one of the things that Dave Van Horn takes a lot of pride in, working with those infielders. Hogs could erase that E3, the double play ground ball right here.
Through the right side, holding up at second is Branch. Second hit of the ball game for Kenny Ishikawa.
Well, now that turns that lineup over again. Really kind of changed the complexion of this inning with that air over at first base. You feel like Fisher was kind of starting to get in a groove a little bit.
Foul off the foot. Colin Fisher, junior out of Noble, Oklahoma, National Pitcher of the Week earlier this year after that complete game shutout against Xavier. 8 innings, only allowing 1 hit, struck out 11 batters.
Good job by home plate umpire Mike Victor to give Trey Phelps a little extra time after pounding that baseball off his foot.
It's there for a strike.
That's one thing that Colin Fisher does a good job. Not afraid to come and pitch inside of those right-handed hitters. Doesn't have an overwhelming fastball, but that one was 92 up under the hands of Phelps.
Just got a piece, did Phelps, to stay alive.
That's a lineup that does a lot of damage.
Eight of the 9 in the lineup today have homered at least 3 times. Bobbled, and did he get a tag on? He did. Razorbacks fortunate there just to get one, as Souza was able to clip Ishikawa as he slid into second base.
Boy, that was a really lucky play. Looked like a double play ground ball, and it just kind of ate up Nolan Souza, but great effort right there to be able to get on top of that and almost turned it himself anyway.
Well, Georgia's going to talk things over here. I wonder if there was any question on whether or not they might want to take a look at that play.
You can usually tell by the base runner. Didn't see Ishikawa really act like he was not tagged. Boy, if you're Arkansas, you're almost trying in the back of your mind going, you've got an open base, and I know you've got runners at first and third, but you've got Daniel Jackson coming up.
First pitch gets away from Helfrich, and both will advance. Colby Branch in to score, and the Bulldogs retake the lead.
That is a run that was scored on an E3 by Rutenbar. Tell you what, each one of these teams have just kind of been gifting runs to the other.
The last 3 runs have been unearned that the Bulldogs have put on the board.
That's what Daniel Jackson does. He makes you not want to throw the ball inside the zone.
There's another one that gets away. Down to third base for Phelps. Colin Fisher only 1 wild pitch on the season in 41 innings pitched, and he's got him on back-to-back here. Just outside, ball 4. So Rylan Luho with 2 outs. Tied on an infield fly last time up. Nearly homered in the 3rd inning.
This is a very unusually quiet Arkansas crowd today.
Not near as loud as the accessories that Rylan Luho sports at the plate.
He's got some flair, doesn't he? Got the neon green working.
Yeah, barely hooked one foul in the 3rd inning down the left field line, and then ended up lining out to third base. A ball that was 100 miles an hour off the bat to TJ Pompey. And flied out to deep left field in the first. You were talking about all the good finds that they've had in the transfer portal, and Rylan Luho is another one of those additions.
Fisher trying to punch him out. He's got Luho down 0-2. He does not want to make a mistake right here.
To the left of second, diving stop, flipping from his belly. Kojal, no, as the ball came loose from Souza. That close.
What a great play by Camden Kojal. Just tremendous range right here, and let's see what happens if this just didn't get enough on the flip. I think Souza just drops it.
Just in the attempt to stretch.
I think the runner was going to be out at second base. They're going to call that a single.
So the Razorbacks talking things over here. And again, the runs earned, the last 4 in fact. 2 in each of the last 2 innings. Matt Hobbs will head back to the dugout. Rylan Luho, now who stands on first, probably saying, you know what, I deserve that after how hard I hit the ball so far today with nothing to show for it. About time I get a break.
Again, Colin Fisher can't catch his breath right here because he's got Henry Allen, who absolutely hit a bomb yesterday.
Sharp 2-hopper to short. Kojal over to first, and Rutenbar able to stretch and get it. Side retired, but a couple of unearned runs for the Georgia Bulldogs, and they're back in front. Oh, everybody has a good time at the ballpark. It's Saturday in April. Things really heating up in conference races. The rubber match of this series, a top 20 matchup, doesn't get better than this, right? Where else would you rather be?
Yeah, the weather actually turned out pretty decent. That north wind, the stadium blocks most of it, so pretty comfortable inside the park.
Especially over the last inning where the sun was really shining bright. It's kind of shadowed off now as Stewart puts the first ball down the right field line, and underneath it, making the catch, Kenny Ishikawa. 1 pitch and 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th.
I thought that had a chance to stay foul into the stands, but the wind just kind of kept blowing it.
When you hear the batter walk-up music, though, of Kuhio Aloy, doesn't matter what the weather is, it just makes you feel like it's 80 and sunny outside. And now Junior from Wailuku, Hawaii, transfer from BYU.
Kahio's gotten much more patient to play. You can see him and he is whipping that bat around.
Taken all the way there, a strike from Matt Scott. Working on his third inning in relief now. Line right back at him and sneaks through.
Well, that did not feel good. That was hit 109 off the bat of Kahio Aloy, and Wes Johnson's going to come out and check on his right-hander. That was absolute rocket. Ricocheted off of Matt Scott's thigh. Wes Johnson want to go out there and check on his right-hander, making sure he's okay.
Yeah, on a chilly day like this, it's going to take a while for the sting to work itself out there.
I think that's a swing that Arkansas fans have been waiting for Kahio Aloy to have. Just really squaring up the baseball. I'll tell you what, when he is on, he hits the ball up the middle the other way and just allows that baseball to travel just a little bit. But one of the guys that's the hardest hitting people in the league.
Good to see the way that just the sequence worked out too, as he was ahead 3-0, but he was still ready for every pitch, including that last one. TJ Pompey takes the first pitch strike.
It's a really good cutter by Matt Scott right there. Dotted the fastball in the outside corner. Now he's ahead 0-2, and he can all kinds of choices right here.
Called strike 3.
Pompey did not think that Scott was going to come back with the fastball. It's really too close to take right there.
Rutenbar going after the first pitch. Couple of walks and a base hit, and has scored all 3 times today, Carter Rutenbar. Ground ball back up the middle. The freshman continues to do good things.
Yeah, no reason for Aloy to try to go to third base right there on Lujo. He throws really well in the outfield. Plus, you're already in scoring position. You cannot make that third out of the inning at third base. Carter Rutenbar has just been super impressive this season as a freshman.
Hit leadoff for the first time in the series finale against Florida at the end of March. And the crowd's really going to stick up for Damian Ruiz on that one.
That's not even close. Nate Thompson is all over home plate umpire Mike Victor. He called an offensive timeout just to have a few words. That was what that was all about.
Just to let things marinate right now. 20 combined runs, 17 combined hits. We're not even through 5 innings yet.
It doesn't seem like much. It's like, okay, it's just one pitch. But if you're a hitter and you're up 1-0 instead of 0-1, it completely changes the complexion of this at-bat.
And now you're at 0-2. With 2 outs, mind you. Ruiz yet to be retired today, though. Couple of walks and then an RBI double back in the second. Skied up down the right field line. Ishikawa in position, makes the catch, and the side retired. Couple of hits, Razorbacks leave 2 and trail 11-9. This game going to the 6th inning. High scoring ball game, already 20 runs through 5 innings. And the Razorbacks had a chance to maybe tack on some more in the 5th, and things getting dicey here, Troy.
Yeah, I don't think there's any love lost between DVH and home plate umpire Mike Fichter. I'm not sure he's going to get a Christmas card from DVH this year. It all started with the low strike that really kind of changed the complexion of the at-bat by Damian Ruiz. Quickly found himself down 0-2 and then the fly out to right field. And that was a big at-bat right there.
Michael O'Shaughnessy, big swing put on it, pushed his season RBI total to 30 last time up. This crowd going to be on their toes for the foreseeable future now. To straightaway center, playable for Mike Anu. And there's one away.
And like if you're Arkansas, you really just want to try to get through an inning and throw up a 0 on the board and get back into the batter's box. The Dogs have scored 6 in the 3rd.
First pitch here, lifted up to right field. Ryan Wynn retired as Zach Stewart makes the catch.
Have had 6 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th. They have just been on a roll.
Hudson high and deep to right center field. Going back, it is over the fence for another home run, his 2nd of the ball game. And the 5th for Georgia here this afternoon.
Just what Georgia does is just hit home runs, and that is a center cut slider that Brendan Hudson does not miss. Not sure if it does, if it gets out without the wind, but I'll tell you what, the Georgia Bulldogs have really figured out to hit that ball to right field.
Four of the 5 have been hit in that direction. Only one that wasn't was pretty much to dead center. Just missed the upper outside corner.
Well, you can even see Ryder Helfrich even hesitated on throwing that ball back. He thought that was for sure a strike. Where was this pitch? Maybe up?
This is the 9th time this year that Georgia's homered at least 5 times in the ball game. Season high 6 on a couple of occasions. Matt Hobbs going to come out and talk with Colin Fisher and company.
Arkansas has Steele Eves warming up in the bullpen.
Eves pitched yesterday, too.
Through 1 1/3 innings, gave up 1 hit, no runs. Did have a strikeout. Threw 16 pitches yesterday. I tell you what, Josh, when we got to the ballpark, we didn't know if we were going to see the sun today, and it is bright and definitely sunny right now here at Baum Walker.
Yeah, the crowd really getting into it, and Dave Van Horn, that's about as vocal as you'll see the 24th year head coach.
Tell you what, sometimes when you're down, you're looking for a little life, and that might have given Arkansas a little bit of life.
Squared to bunt, pulled it back, but the pitch was there for a strike. And another.
It's going to be 41st pitch for Colin Fisher, 17 balls.
Runner taken off. Here's the throw, and not in time.
Nice job by Branch right there. Went on first movement and stole that one off of Colin Fisher.
Fisher threw 3 innings in his first time out of the bullpen this season in that series at Alabama a weekend ago. Just trying to nibble right at that upper outside corner. Just got a piece to stay alive.
Well, unfortunately, Josh, we don't have the K zone and on TrackMan here in the booth in conference games, but it'd be interesting to see where that last pitch was.
Fisher trying to buckle down here. Another payoff. Popped up. Giving chase. Trouble, and it's going to fall in to the Bermuda Triangle, and Colby Branch in to score, and that makes that stolen base of his only his 2nd of the year. Oh, so important.
Boy, another walk comes around to score. The walk by Branch. And just what a great job of hitting right there by Ishikawa. Just flipped that one out there.
3rd hit of the day and his 7th RBI of the season.
I wouldn't be surprised if DVH doesn't stay out here and make Mike Fichter come out there to the mound before he departs.
Razorbacks forced to make a change here in the 6th inning. Georgia in front 13-9. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. Steele Eves, 2nd straight day coming out of the bullpen, trying to close things down here for Arkansas.
Boy, Josh, it felt like Arkansas was going to get out of this inning. He had a fly ball to center field by Michael O'Shaughnessy, then a fly ball to right by Ryan Wynn, and then Brennan Hudson came up with a big home run, and then the wheels kind of fell off the bus, the walk to Branch, and then the base hit right there to Ishikawa. And you said the big part of that was Branch stealing second base.
Only his second of the season. No earned runs allowed in his last 5 appearances, covering 6 innings of work. And 4 of those 5 appearances have been in SEC play. Three runs scored from the leadoff spot for Trey Phelps, the SEC runs leader. Now with 55 on the year. Goes around there, and he's down 0-2.
Really good cutter slider right there by Steele Eaves. I think Phelps is saying, hey, I know that was a swing, but was it a strike as well? I think it was.
This is where Phelps can get really tough. It seems the at-bat's just getting going when he's got 2 strikes against him.
But how about the last 4 innings for the Dogs? 6-2, 2-2, and runs scored.
All of them coming with 2 outs in these last 3 innings.
I think Eaves is throwing the ball harder to first base. He's throwing to the plate. Ishikawa only 1 of 2 stolen bases on the season.
Got him to chase one. Steele Eaves out of the bullpen, gets the strikeout. Georgia puts 2 more on the board, though. Their lead 13-9. Razorbacks coming to bat. Look at what's going on around the SEC. Multiple matchups, pinning ranked teams against each other. And how about Texas winning that series now with a 3-1 win over Alabama? And Auburn as well, clinching over Florida. This Georgia Bulldogs team, your SEC leader at 12-5. But Texas not far behind them. Texas A&M right there as well, came in at 10-5. Georgia 12-5 entering the day.
You can see why Georgia is just in any ball game with this offense, and if they can kind of button up the starting rotation just a little bit more, there's definitely depth in that bullpen. But man, they are just such a scary team offensively.
.104 home runs entering the day, the national lead. Camden Kojal grounds one to short. Colby Branch comes up with it, makes the play, and 1 down.
Just perfect positioning right there by Colby Branch. The ball was hit right to him. Looked like somebody hit a fungo in infield practice. Mr. Automatic over there at shortstop, Colby Branch.
Ryder Helfrich, who homered last time up, a 3-run shot. We were tied at 9 through 4 innings, but that was the last time that the Razorbacks scored.
See Matt Scott trying to pitch pretty carefully to Ryder Helfrich, trying to throw a couple off-speed pitches. If you're a Ryder, you need to really cut that plate in half.
Hard chopper's going to sneak through.
Helfrich just continues to hit. Sometimes with the old saying, hit them where they ain't. Branch just kind of swung around into the 6-hole over there in deep short.
He's reached safely now 9 times in the series.
This is an Arkansas batter, Nolan Souza, that just hasn't quite showed that home run power and pop that he has in years past. Only 2 bombs on the season for Souza. Got to think about Souza. He did not even get to swing the bat in the fall, so he is just still trying to play catch up. Really tore his shoulder up in Athens last season against these Bulldogs, and have surgery and missed all the summer, all the fall.
Hit 7 home runs in his freshman year. And there were some moments where you thought, man, how hard can this guy hit the ball? There was a couple, there was 15 to 20 mile an hour winds blowing in from right field, and he hit 2 against Ole Miss in a series into that wind. Just mammoth shots.
Yeah, the power's there. 6'3", 215.
But to your point, with only 2 this year, they're just hoping that it's coming at some point. Goes down on strikes here, and Matt Scott continues to look calm out there on the mound. Scott approaching 70 pitches.
Really nice fade and run. Probably one of the best pitches he's thrown all day. That last fastball right there had some good sink to Nolan Souza.
Gets Mike Anu to swing and miss at the first pitch. Mike Anu with a 2-strike, 2 RBI hit back in the first inning.
That was a dandy changeup right there. The bottom just absolutely fell out of that one. That Scott's really feeling on the mound. You can just kind of tell it in his body language that he is feeling very comfortable. Even that miss right there is exactly where Daniel Jackson wanted that pitch. You can saw the head nod of his catcher to say that's right where you want to throw an 0-2 pitch.
Got him swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Matt Scott. Shut the Razorbacks down over the last couple of innings, and it's Georgia still in front, 13-9. (13-9) lead for 5th-ranked Georgia in the rubber match of this series. Josh Haley and Troy Eklund with you from Baum-Walker Stadium. And the heavy-hitting Bulldogs. That includes the home runs they've hit today. A couple by that man, Daniel Jackson, but 6 different guys in the lineup that have homered at least 10 times.
I mean, that's what makes a lineup so scary. You can't pitch around anyone. You know, what do you do? Because the next guy up's hit almost as many as the guy that you just walked.
Right at the edge of the zone for a first pitch strike from Steele Eves. Came out of the bullpen last inning, got a strikeout to end the frame.
Well, I like how quiet Daniel Jackson is at the plate. Not a lot of movement, keeps that head still. And again, a guy that looks to hit the baseball to the opposite field.
The SEC hits leader, junior from Sandy Springs, Georgia. Now, last year he hit 14 home runs, but 1 strikeout every 3 at-bats and hit 240. And this year, the strikeout numbers are down, 1 in nearly every just 5 at-bats when you got the kind of power that he does, and he's hitting 377 now. So a big stride from a year ago. Teeing off here, deep to left center field. It is out of here. A trio of home runs today for number 3, Daniel Jackson.
Boy, he just absolutely just muscled that baseball out to left center field. Kind of got up and in on him, but he was able to pull those hands inside the baseball. Watch where this pitch is. It's up and in, and what a great swing. He knew he got it when he hit it. Just a no-doubter, 404 feet off the bat, 103. And he is fun to watch.
Rylan Luho, little flinch, takes strike 1. This ball lifted up, playable in center field for Mike Anu. 1 away. Luho retired here in the 7th.
I tell you what, that's just consistent offense right there by the Georgia Bulldogs. Scored 6 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and they're not done.
This is the most home runs Arkansas has given up in a game this year. They gave up 5 back on February 24th against Arkansas State. But now 6 today. 3 from Daniel Jackson.
Still just 1 out in this frame. "12 hits and 14 runs for the Bulldogs.
Good movement on that pitch, but easily identifiable from Henry Allen. The count runs full. And he'll take a free pass.
Just a breaking ball that Steele Eves didn't want to hang it and just overthrew it and spiked it.
4th walk today issued by Razorback pitching.
You could hear a pin drop in the stadium.
Yeah, the most that this crowd has had to get lively about was arguing balls and strikes over the last couple of innings.
If you're Arkansas, you really need a double play ground ball. You got to get out of this inning, try to come up, figure out how to chip away at this big lead, 5-run lead by the Bulldogs.
It's a good job behind the plate, picking that out of the dirt by Helfrich.
Pretty big lead. Yeah, it was a big lead over there by Henry Allen, but I think it was almost kind of a one-way lead. He was kind of leaning back toward first base. Just want to try to see a move from Steele Eaves.
Well hit to left center field. Sends Ruiz to the track, and he's there to make the catch. Long fly out for O'Shaughnessy, and there's 2 away.
I'll tell you what, the thing that these Bulldog hitters have been able to do is get the ball in the air today. Again, they hit the ball really hard and have a lot of power, but just giving themselves a chance to get that baseball up in the jet stream.
There's been a few ground balls hit today, but only 1 ground ball put out so far this afternoon for the Razorbacks. That's staggering, considering how many at-bats there's been. Working 5th time through the lineup. Wynn pops it up. And will land 5 rows deep. Now, talking about the runner at first, Henry Allen, you said a one-way lead there. How much of that kind of cat and mouse did you play when you were here? Just trying to see if you could maybe just force a bad pick off and earn a free pass?
Yeah, I think not a whole lot. I mean, a lot of times if you want to see if you have a chance to steal a base, you might want to try to see a move, and so you get a little extra lead and kind of lean back. But you wouldn't definitely think with a 5-run lead that Georgia's going to run in this situation, especially the way the ball's flying out of the park. We've seen saw Colby Branch steal second base and came around to score because he did steal a base.
Strike on the lower edge, and it's 2-2. Slow hopper to third, charging in Pompey. Smooth play by the third baseman. Georgia, though, a big swing to start the inning.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Automatic at the plate, Daniel Jackson, goes deep for his 3rd home run of the day. Another no-doubter. Man, that is 20 bombs for Daniel Jackson.
Well, as we hit the 7th inning stretch, your game summary, Georgia, they've scored in 5 consecutive innings now and lead it 14-9. And that man, Matt Scott, doing some serious work in relief. Already 4 innings in the books. As Zach Stewart, first pitch, lifted up to deep right center and at the wall, making the catch, Rylan Lujo.
Boy, Lujo came in on that baseball, and then he went, uh-oh, I've got to get back, and the wind got a hold of it, and really good adjustment by Lujo out there in center field.
Although the flow of the ball game is much different than yesterday, a similar story in the sense that a reliever is able to come in and hold things down. Yesterday it was Caden Aoki who went 5 innings in relief for Georgia. And now Matt Scott doing a good job here in a relief effort.
Yeah, Aoki came in relief and threw 105 pitches. You don't see that very often, but he was super effective.
Hard hit and gets past Trey Phelps.
Well, I tell you what, Kahil Lloyd just has so much bat whip. It's almost like a tennis player hitting a forehand. Watch this second hop right here to Trey Phelps. You talk about, dude, that thing just took off on that second bounce.
Left Phelps with very few options and little time to react. Big swing and a miss, first pitch. Dave Van Horn praised TJ Pompey after game one. He said, you know, one thing maybe we're not talking about is the defensive play that he made that could have saved the ball game. That just out of reach of Brennan Hudson.
Boy, I thought off the bat that thing was going to stay in fair territory, or not at least in playable territory for Hudson, but it just dumped into the first couple rows. Pompey's made some great plays over at third base. A tremendous arm.
First year transfer from Texas Tech, as Jackson able to keep that one close. Third straight inning, the Razorbacks have had a one-out base hit. Each of the last two, they were unable to do anything with it. Let's see if they can change the fortune here.
Yeah, you just feel like you've got to, you're down 5, you got to start chipping away, and would love to get at least a couple runs out of this inning. Give yourself a chance late in this ball game.
Brush back a bit, and the count is full.
For Pompey, the power is definitely there. 8 home runs on the season.
Low for ball 4. Pompey aboard for the first time today.
And then a guy that's coming up to the plate that the Bulldogs have yet to retire. Carter Rutenbar, first 2 at-bats, drew a walk, and a single in the 4th, and the single in the 5th, and this is going to bring out Wes Johnson, and he's not going to take Matt Scott out of the ball game because he is trotting out to the mound. This is just, hey, stay locked in. You know, this the way the ball's flying out of the park. You cannot make a mistake up. Just keep pounding the bottom part of the strike zone, doing what you've been doing. That was just a quick reset right there by Wes Johnson.
Well, a guy in Matt Scott that's been in firm control of his stuff this year, near 4-1 strikeout to walk, but he walked 3 of the first 7 batters he faced in this relief outing. But the one just now was the first in the last 16 batters. Really just been putting all the pressure on the Arkansas hitters. Carter Rutenbar has reached safely all 4 times today. A pair of hits and a pair of walks.
Yes, if you're Carter Rutenbar right here, it's a good take right there. You need to think middle in, something you can get up into that wind and that jet stream. He can continue to lay off pitches like that. He's going to have a good quality at bat. Tell you what, Daniel Jackson, he does not like balls if they've been hitting the dirt. I bet he's tossed away 10 different baseballs today. Skips in there, let's get rid of it. It's got a scuff on it.
Rutenbar, proof of how just quickly things can change throughout the course of a season. A guy that they were given opportunities to early on. But if you'd have said back in February that, hey, we're a month left essentially in the regular season, we're going to be facing Georgia, first place in the SEC, and you're now a couple of weeks in to being our everyday leadoff man. Has handled it with class. And he takes a walk here. Not making the moment too big.
We did one time in that at-bat did Carter Rutenbar kind of expand that strike zone. That was with a 2-0 count. Thought he was going to get maybe a fastball inside. Got a breaking ball down and in and swung at it. But other than that, really patient. And that's going to bring out Wes Johnson. He's going to make a pitching change. But Josh, what a great job by Matt Scott. He really came in there, gave his team a chance to win this ball game, kept Arkansas in check. That's all you can ask out of your reliever.
The Beer Hats come out here at Baum-Walker Stadium, and the Razorbacks force Georgia to make a move to the bullpen. Fourth pitcher now taking the mound. Big right-hander Zach Brown, who goes 6'5", 220. Ohio State transfer, California native. Takes the mound with a 3.66 ERA and making his 11th appearance of the year. 7th time out of the bullpen. 19 2/3. He struck out 21 and walked 6 while holding opponents to just a 2.11 average. Zach Brown out of the bullpen for Georgia here to try to hold it down and get out of a one-out bases loaded jam in the bottom of the 7th inning. Matt Scott goes 4 1/3 for the Bulldogs, surrendering 6 hits, 3 strikeouts and 5 walks. But really good stuff, Troy, as you mentioned. I mean, to come out of the bullpen on a day like today, with the scoring going how it was, to be able to go 4 1/3, that's a big win.
Yeah, it really was. And again, this is a big opportunity. Feel like that this game's kind of had a lot of back and forth, and if Arkansas is going to get a chance to get in this ball game and have a chance to win it, they need to do something right here.
Breaking ball just missed the lower edge. Couple of walks. RBI double in the second for Ruiz. Count even to 1 now.
Yeah, really good movement on that fastball. Really had some good tail into the hands of Damian Ruiz. That's a pitch off the, looks like it's going to be down the middle or maybe a little bit in, and just ran right up under his hands.
Chopped foul, 1 2 down. Ruiz able to easily take that one. Evens the count at 2. And the tension starts to build a little bit.
See, one thing you need to remember as a base runner right here for your Arkansas is you got to freeze on a line drive.
2-2. Ground ball is through the left side. Aloy in to score. Here comes Pompey.
Big 2-strike hit by Damian Ruiz, and that fastball ran in, and he was able to pull those hands inside the baseball and just found that hole right through the 6 hole. Good speed by TJ Pompey, coming around and scored easily. We've got ourselves a ball game here, Josh. I'll tell you what, neither team is really just taking the foot off the gas offensively.
Camden Kojal, who went yard back in the second, a 2-run shot. Could tie the ball game with one swing of the bat here. Ground ball to short. They go to second for one. Relay to first is offline. Two away here in the bottom of the seventh.
It's a good job by Colby Branch just to give a good feed. And then I tell you, this is a play that you don't really see, but Brendan Hudson came off the base and just didn't try to stretch to get the double play. He said, okay, I'm going to keep that ball from going maybe into the dugout, or at least ricocheting off the screen and allowing that runner on third to come around and score. Sometimes as a first baseman, you just have to kind of make that decision to say, I'm not going to try to go for the out, just be safe.
First pitch strike to Ryder Helfrich. Well, the last time the game was tied was when Ryder Helfrich had a 3-run shot in the bottom of the fourth to tie the game at 9. Finds himself down 0-2 here now.
A couple really good pitches right there. Nice job by Zach Brown.
Couple of Californians in the pitcher-hitter matchup here as a breaking ball finds the dirt. The count even now to the junior catcher.
Yeah, just a really good take right there. It's not a bad pitch, but Helfrich not trying to be too aggressive at the plate.
Foul tip finds the catcher's mitt for a strikeout to end the inning. Zach Brown able to come out of the bullpen, gives up a hit, but gets the next two and keeps his team in the lead. Crowd having fun as this ball game tightens up a little bit. Trying to have the rhythm and the vibes carry over into the home team. 2-run inning for the Razorbacks. And they're down 3 now, and they'll try to keep it there behind right-handed freshman Mark Brissy.
Kind of like Zach Brown, Brissy has that fastball that'll run in on the right-hander's hands. Pretty good fastball, sit about 92 to 94, 95 miles an hour. Kind of a 3/4 arm slot with kind of a big sweeping breaking ball. Don't see many change-ups out of Brissy. Pretty much a 2-pitch mix guy.
Thought we were watching a recording with like double speed there. About to put you into a trance.
They're having a good time out in the hog pen.
Save some of that energy. Who knows how much is left in this game. We're almost at 3 hours. With already 25 combined runs on the board, who knows what we might be in store for in the 8th and the 9th. Or if that'll even be enough to decide it. Brennan Hudson leading off, who's homered twice today. And he'll take first with a base hit here to start the 8th inning.
Good job by Hudson going down and getting that changeup by Brissy. If you're Arkansas, you have got to throw up a 0 right here. They've only had 1 inning, which was the 2nd inning that the Bulldogs have not scored.
Look out. Brushed back by a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. A hit and a walk and a couple of runs scored today for Colby Branch. out of Lucas, Texas. His brother Kyle plays for Oklahoma.
So the parents just have to divide and conquer to go see who they're going to watch.
Yep, and don't get any matchups against each other this year either. This is part of 7 straight on the road for the Bulldogs. They'll be at Ole Miss next weekend. Good bunt laid down. Poppy charging in, trying to barehand it and can't quite find the handle.
It's a great bunt right there by Colby Branch. And again, that's all TJ Poppy can do is just try to sell out with the bare hand and either make that play bare hand or you don't make it at all.
Brings up Kenny Ishikawa now, who's got 3 hits on the afternoon, including an RBI base knock last time up. Here's a ground ball to second. 4-6-3 for the 30th double play of the year for the Razorbacks. Much needed.
Yeah, the Razorbacks had to put a little extra something on that one. Really firm flip by Nolan Souza, and Kojal had to put something behind it because Ichikawa can really get down the line. Watch how fast this turn is made. The really firm flip, and then that is bang, bang at first base. But that is a huge double play by Arkansas.
Back to the top of the order now, and Trey Phelps runs in. Did it hit him or did it hit the bat? Home plate umpire saying it's a hit by pitch. Dave Van Horn signaling that he wants the review.
The ruling on the field is hit by pitch. Arkansas is challenging the ruling. The previous play is under review.
Our first official review of the afternoon.
Well, it's just so hard to tell. I think you almost have to go on what the sound was. I'll tell you what, the check swing hits Ryder Helfrich's glove. Watch Ryder Helfrich's glove move on the check swing. Yeah, could I mean that is something else that happened in that play. But the batter immediately acted like it hit him in the hand.
Would think it would be a hard one to overturn, given that if you don't have that sufficient evidence to overturn it. The call on the field, again, was hit by pitch. So
I agree. I think that whatever was called in the field is probably going to be called in this situation right here. But if you're Dave Van Horn, you got to challenge it.
well, the crowd's getting a look at this.
The hard thing is you can't tell on what they're seeing in the scoreboard is you can't tell if that baseball changed direction. Oh, I definitely think you could see, watch his batting glove on that right hand on the gray part. Right here. See if you don't.
Review. The batter was not hit by a pitch. It was a foul ball.
Wow.
The count is 0-1. Arkansas retains their challenge. It still has 2.
Does Wes Johnson want to challenge the challenge? What is he doing right here? Oh, he's going to do catcher interference, I bet.
Georgia is challenging catcher's interference. The previous play is under review.
Well, there you go. And that was a good job by you, Troy, to notice that the first time around.
I think Georgia's going to win this one. A little harder to see on that, but just see if Helfrich's glove doesn't move on this check swing right there. Oh, absolutely it does. Because that's why Helfrich doesn't catch the baseball. This one should be pretty quick.
After review, have catcher's interference. The batter is awarded first base. Georgia retains their challenge. He still has 2.
We don't see that happen very often.
No, you don't.
One side wins the first part of the challenge, and then there's a second challenge.
Making the argument that maybe the runner should be able to come home from third base.
I've always thought a catcher's interference was a dead ball. I don't know how Wes Johnson is saying the runner is going to be allowed to score right there. Well, it appears that the runner's going to stay at third base. But then you have Daniel Jackson come up. I just walk him. He's hit 3 home runs already today, Josh. I can't imagine you throw a pitch inside the strike zone right here.
I'll keep it away from him on the first one. Big situation, though, because Razorbacks just cutting it back down to 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th. Got to slam the door here. No situation bigger, though, for this freshman right-hander, Mark Brissy.
If I'm Brissy, I almost think I throw fastballs inside, and I know you don't want to hit a batter, but you can't leave something out over the plate.
Sharp grounder, and it skips off the glove of Souza. Hudson in to score. Phelps gets down to third base.
Trying to see how they're going to score that. That's going to be a base hit. Nope. It's going to be an E4.
So no RBI. Taken off. Jackson to second base.
Oh, heads up play by Daniel Jackson.
Grounder to short. Kojal's got it. Fires over to first, and it's in time to retire Rylan Luho. A wild inning. 2 challenges on the same play. Extends the frame, and Georgia tacks on a run. Back in Fayetteville, rubber match of the series. Fairly low scoring when you consider the average runs that these two put up on the board for the first two games. Arkansas winning 6-3 on Thursday, and then it was Georgia 5-3 yesterday. But how about 26 combined runs so far here this afternoon?
Yeah, the 5 errors by Arkansas has just been absolutely backbreaking. But I'll tell you what, the relentless offense of this Georgia team has been amazing.
First pitch strike to Nolan Souza. Zach Brown out there on the mound. Fourth pitcher used today by the Bulldogs. Their starter was Grant Edwards, making his first start of the season. Struggled with control. They had to go to the bullpen in the first. Went to Paul Farley, who went 1 2/3. And then Matt Scott gave him 4 1/3. Zach Brown coming on last inning. Gave up a 2 RBI hit, but then got the next 2 outs they needed to keep his team in front. And now working with a 4-run lead. Souza, a little excuse me swing. It's flared into the glove of Colby Branch, 1 away.
Just seems like that the times that Arkansas needs just a blooper to find some green grass, it just hasn't. Colby Branch has been kind of a magnet over there at shortstop for those little soft bloopers.
First pitch strike to Micah New.
Tell you what, Zach Brown's got some serious run on that fastball. How about 20 inches of horizontal break on that fastball? You can't hit that pitch. No, that's just a change up on the outside corner at the knees.
Well, that is a good sequence from Zach Brown. He's got the first 2 here in the 8th.
But threw a great changeup, and then the breaking ball, the bottom just fell out of that one. You can see how far out in front Micah New was on that last pitch.
It's only the second time that the first 2 Razorbacks in an inning have been retired. Only the 3rd time overall in the ball game between the two sides. Stewart quickly down 0-2. Homestand will continue for Arkansas on Tuesday when they face Zach Stewart's old team, Missouri State.
That was a wild one in Springfield, wasn't it?
Took the words out of my mouth.
Bears took Arkansas down. The great comeback. Was it 15-14 or something crazy
Indeed,
like that?
in 10 innings. Wasn't the first time in recent years either that those two had played a wild midweek game. One, two. Stewart over 200 career hits, top 10 among active Division I players with over 50 career home runs. Storied career. Called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Zach Brown, and a rare 1-2-3 inning on a day like today. Georgia in front by 4 as we go to the ninth. Well, the offensive onslaught today for the visitors in this rubber match. 15 runs, and how about 6 home runs this afternoon?
If you said that Georgia was going to be 4 of 13 with runners in scoring position, you probably take your chances with that number, thinking, okay, that's not bad. And then you look up and they say they've scored 15 runs. That shows how many runs they potentially could have scored.
Five of the last 8 that have been given up have been unearned. Uncharacteristic 5 errors by the home team, including 1 last inning. Big cut at that pitch from Henry Allen.
Brissy does have some nice run on that fastball. That's almost 18 inches of horizontal break. Again, both these right-handers are pitches boring in on those right-handed batters.
2-2 now to Allen, who's walked a couple of times today. Now 4 walks in the series. Close pitch. Able to hold up the bat. And his 3rd walk of the afternoon. It's the 5th walk that Razorback pitchers have issued today. O'Shaughnessy, 1 of 4, had a 2 RBI single back in the 4th inning.
Well, you usually don't see a swing like that on a fastball, especially with a good hitter like O'Shaughnessy, but that thing just had some serious run. Hogs would love to get a double play ground ball again. With the way the wind's blowing out, 4 is not unreasonable to expect in an inning like today. There's that wind.
This ball is teed off on deep right center field. That is gone. Home run number 7 for the Bulldogs. A new season high for them as O'Shaughnessy goes deep for the 11th time this year.
Tell you what, these Georgia Bulldogs, they do not get cheated at the plate. This is a fastball right down the heart. That O'Shaughnessy does not miss it. How about 412 on the distance, 103 off the bat of the big left-hander.
Only the 2nd homer that Brissy's given up this year. just made the job for the Razorbacks a lot more difficult, even on an offensive day. Going to the ninth, already having to chase runs. Now a 6-run lead for Georgia. Ryan Wynn, who homered back in the third.
Tell you what, this is just an absolute offensive onslaught. 7 bombs. And again, there's been maybe one that got helped out by the wind. I think somebody hit one to right field. Just got over the glove of Zach Stewart, but everything else has been just hammered.
Following that up with a walk by Ryan Wynn. Dave Van Horn coming out. We'll have to go to the bullpen yet again. Razorbacks will use 6 pitchers here today when they make this call to the pen. We'll tell you who it is when we come back to Fayetteville. 17-11, Georgia in front here in the ninth. From one freshman to another, Razorbacks go from Mark Brissy, and now Peyton Lee comes into the ball game.
Yeah, Lee's got some good stuff. His fastball is sitting in the low 90s with some good run down and in. And see the numbers on Peyton Lee. He's been a guy that started some midweek games for Arkansas. And he's kind of been having some up and down outings. But again, as a freshman, you're going to kind of take your lumps at times.
The batter for Georgia, Brennan Hudson, who has 3 hits, including 2 homers, now 14 on the season. Breaking ball in for a strike, first pitch.
Still no outs in this inning for Arkansas after a walk, home run, and another walk.
Lifted up into right. Stewart comes jogging in, makes the catch, and it's a good start to the outing for Lee.
Good changeup by Peyton Lee. Had Hudson way out in front. Hit the ball in the barrel, but just nothing behind it.
Well, it's grown a little bit quiet. Of course, the situation helps that, but there's still a lot of very close and watchful eyes from that Arkansas dugout here. You're still at a point in your season where you're figuring out who's going to be able to give you quality and meaningful innings when you come down the stretch. And you never know who you'll need in the postseason.
That's a really good point. And, you know, so these young freshman arms are getting an opportunity to see if they can throw strikes and get some outs. And like you said, that see if you can get into that circle of trust of Dave Van Horn. Pretty good breaking ball right there by Peyton Lee.
Veteran Colby Branch reaching safely 3 times today with a couple of hits. And laces this down the left field line. Into the corner, and stop sign given. Ryan Wynn holds up at third base. It's a 1-out double for Colby Branch.
108 off the bat of Colby Branch. He just squared that one up.
His 10th 2-base hit of the year. Here's Kenny Ishikawa. 3 hits already for him today.
Arkansas bringing the infield in. I was a little shocked they hadn't at this point. Can't give up any more runs.
Crucial play with Ishikawa at the plate last inning when the Razorbacks were able to turn 2, trying to limit the damage. You pointed out at the time that this guy can really fly, and a quality pitcher, but a guy that can hit and tremendous speed, both offensively and defensively. That's a valuable asset over there for the Bulldogs. A little excuse me single into left center field. Win in to score. Colby Branch held up at third base.
That's the second time we've seen Kenny Ishikawa just kind of stick that bat out there and just kind of flip it in the outfield. Remember, he hit one in the Bermuda Triangle down the left field line earlier in this game. And again, just a guy with some really good bat control. I mean, I say that jokingly, but you have to have some good bat control just to be able to make contact when you're out in front.
Back to the top of the order now, and Trey Phelps, who has the rare distinction of being involved in a play that saw a challenge from both coaches.
And both successful.
And both successful. In case you missed it, he was called for being hit by a pitch. Dave Van Horn challenged. It was overturned, ruled that he was not hit. And then Georgia coach Wes Johnson challenged that there was catcher's interference, which there was. And so Phelps got a free base after all.
Peyton Lee really just overthrowing that breaking ball and doesn't want to hang it. I can't blame him.
Georgia should go back and have Trey Phelps break down that whole sequence on film during a practice session this week. Might be a fun activity for the travel home. Just angled foul, and a good job to avoid it at third base by Colby Branch. Phelps just doing what good leadoff men do, though. Doesn't matter how you get on board, just find a way on board, and he's been on first base in 4 different fashions today and scored 3 runs. Here's a hit towards right center. In to score is Branch. Ishikawa is going to take third base on the play. 4th run of this top of the 9th inning.
It has been an absolute hitting clinic by the Georgia Bulldogs today.
Well, to their credit, they were not content with the lead they had. Series on the line, don't want to go to the bottom of the 9th thinking that you could have done more.
Well, it just shows how good this offense is. They're just relentless at the plate, just quality at bat after quality at bat.
Ground ball, avoiding his teammate, Kojal, and over to first. Good play by Camden Kojal there at short.
The call on the field is out. Georgia's challenging and ruling. The previous play is under review.
Wes Johnson challenging here.
I mean, when the play was made live, it definitely looked like that Jackson was out at first base. It's close. He can run really well. But I think Kozel gets him. Yeah, I think that's gonna stay. Just got him. What's the old saying, Josh? By an eyelash?
Well, in any event, it's another RBI, regardless of how this turns out for Jackson. And a 6 RBI afternoon in which he homers 3 times. It'll be the first time that they've gotten him out today, if it stands.
So here's something. It looks like that Jackson's foot kind of hits on top of the bag. I think if he hit the front part of the bag, he might be safe.
After review, the runner is safe. Georgia retains their challenge, still has 2.
I missed that one.
Four hits, a walk, and twice has reached on an error. But in 7 trips to the plate, they've yet to retire Daniel Jackson.
Did
So
it look
still
like
just one out.
Did it look like Rutenbar's toe came off the base, or did he just beat it? I guess he just beat it.
I have to think that yeah, it was the latter. The biggest run-scoring inning was the 3rd for the Bulldogs at 6, but 5 across so far here in the 9th.
I said that felt like somebody could get to 20 runs today. That happened.
Slow roller to short. They go to second, but it pulled Souza off the bag.
I think that was almost an easier play for Camden Kozel. Go to third base. He kind of, all his momentum is kind of carrying him toward that left side of the infield, and then he had to kind of try to turn and spin and throw that ball to second base. It's a good hustle by Daniel Jackson, too. I'm going to call that an E6. Still just 1 out.
Back to Henry Allen where it all started. Allen drew a walk to start the inning. Let's go back to that play.
See, all his momentum is taking him another way, and then the throw just carried. Souza just couldn't stay on the bag.
Look out. RBI hit by pitch, and it's a 10-run lead now. First RBI of the day for the cleanup man. What would have been the odds on that you score 20 runs and your cleanup man didn't have any of those runs driven in until now?
Yeah, that's just a pitch that got away from Peyton Lee. Definitely didn't want to hit Allen on that situation. But, man, caught him right on the hip. There's no meat in that area. That's going to be sore tomorrow.
O'Shaughnessy homered earlier in the frame. Swings and drives one to deep right center field. It's a 2-home run inning for Michael O'Shaughnessy. And this time in grand fashion.
Well, I tell you what, the Georgia Bulldogs have just put on an absolute clinic today at the plate. That's a fastball right down and in, and O'Shaughnessy doesn't miss it. How about 106 off the bat, hitting almost 400 feet.
Clearing the bases, and Ryan Wynn now. Eight home runs today for the nation's leader in home runs. Now 112 on the season.
That's just mind-boggling.
For O'Shaughnessy, 8 RBI in the ball game. 6 in this 9th inning alone. That nearly hit him.
Okay, this is crazy, but Carson Brumbaugh is warming up in the Arkansas bullpen. Who's not thrown an inning this season.
Strong arm from the shortstop position, but not what you'd expect, and this is out of here. Ryan Wynn for the second time this ball game. He had 2 home runs on the season. He's homered 3 times now in the series.
That is 26 runs scored by the Bulldogs. And that's just a really good swing by Ryan Wynn. Again, this Georgia Bulldogs team, this is why they lead the nation in home runs.
Razorbacks forced to go to the bullpen. Still just 1 out in the 9th, and a 15-run lead for Georgia. Has not been a pleasant day at the ballpark for the home crowd, especially in this 9th inning. Georgia Bulldogs leading 26-11, and the Razorbacks will turn to the bullpen for the 7th time. Carson Brumbaugh on the mound to pitch.
Yeah, Carson Brumbaugh, he's normally the shortstop for Arkansas, and then they brought him in to pitch today. I think this is going to be his first appearance this season, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, 1 inning, excuse me.
Brennan Hudson, the batter. Seven hits in the inning, including 3 home runs.
.26 runs on 21 hits for the Bulldogs. There have not been many ground ball outs, I can tell you that for sure. This team is looking to drop and drive.
Look out. A little too much follow through there. Grazed the leg of Brennan Hudson. Umpire's going to talk this over here. Does it look like you get him in the back of the leg?
I guess so. Are they saying that's a warning? I guess that's what the
I
call
think
was.
you're right. Carson Brumbaugh certainly in disbelief. Brings up Colby Branch, who doubled earlier in the frame. Big cut at that first pitch.
There's still just one out in this inning.
The 0-1. It's a swing and a miss there. Had some carry to it. 92 from Brumbaugh.
Really good fastball by Brumbaugh. There's a lot of late life about halfway through the plate that seems like it almost picks up another gear. Arkansas's not holding the runner on at first base. Trying to overthrow that fastball right there by Brumbaugh.
Count runs full. Branch covering up.
We're creeping out on the 4-hour mark on this game, and it is felt like every bit of 4 hours. It's an absolute slugfest.
Another payoff from Brumbaugh. Fouled up. The wind pushes this into the seats. Yeah, feels like
we
longer
played
than
like
that
a
for
couple games right here. It almost feels like a doubleheader.
Can you imagine if it actually was and this was game one?
Like everybody would be hitting the energy drinks in between games.
Then you turn around and have a 1-0 game two or something. Nice pick at third by Pompey. Did that not hit the ground first?
I think he caught it.
Either way, quick glove over there at the hot corner. Take another look.
This ball was smashed by Branch. Yeah, third base umpire Will Van Raphorst was right on top of that play. We have a pinch hitter right here. Ty Peoples
in the 9-hole for Kenny Ishikawa. Taking a cut at that pitch, down 1-2. Ty Peoples 3 of 12 at the plate on the year, but an on-base percentage of .526 has reached safely 10 times in 19 plate appearances, making the most of the opportunities. Called strike 3. Brumbaugh finally able to get the third out of the inning for the Razorbacks. But a massive inning for Georgia, and they lead at 26-11. Going to the bottom of the 9th inning after an 11-run top half by the Georgia Bulldogs. They've got a 15-run advantage. And they'll make a change on the mound. Freshman Joe Nottingham into pitch.
Yeah. Big-bodied right-hander, 6'5", 197. He's got a really live arm. How about this, Josh? 95 to 98 with a fastball, a slider, and a changeup as well. Again, you can see the numbers right there. Pretty good command for a guy that throws that hard. Only 4 walks in those 9 innings and 14 punch-outs. Well, that was Georgia's way of just kind of opening that lead up where there's no doubt. The wind blowing out, you're thinking, okay, 4 runs, maybe 5, but then when you throw up an 11 spot, that just kind of gives you a little bit of cushion.
Kuhio Aloy will lead things off, 8-9-1 to bat. Aloy's had a good day at the plate, 2 for 3 with a walk. High chopper angles foul off the bat. Georgia continuing a 7-game road trip on Tuesday when they face Georgia Tech as Aloy grounds one back through up the middle. How about a 3-hit ball game for Kuhio?
Yeah, that's really good. If you're trying to look for the glass half full for an Arkansas fan, Kuhio Aloy getting hot at the plate is definitely a good sign.
TJ Pompey takes a first pitch strike. This game was once upon a time tied at 9 through 4 innings. But you kind of look back, and you pointed it out at the time, Troy, but the miscues for the Razorbacks that allowed Georgia to retake the lead, and that kind of changed the trajectory of the game. Not saying that that's, you know, the end-all be-all, but certainly changes the way that you approach things for the remainder of the ball game, who you have on the mound, and situationally what you're trying to do. As that's scorched off the mound.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's you just can't give an offense like Georgia, you know, extra at bats, and it's almost like when you're in a basketball game and you're not getting offensive or defensive rebounds, and the team gets to shoot 3, 4, 5, 6 times every time down the floor, and you're gonna hit one of those at some time. A couple good at bats, a couple good swings right back up the middle for Aloy and Pompey.
Rutenbar, first pitch, lined into right field. No sense in taking any chances there. Everybody advances 1. Oh, this is off of a good pitcher, too, in Nottingham. Saw his numbers, a flat 3 ERA in 9 appearances this year.
He's got a live arm. We talked about the velocity that he can reach. That was a 87-mile-an-hour cutter that Rutenbar hammered into right field.
Damian Ruiz with the bases loaded.
Bulldogs do have a right-hander warming up in the bullpen.
Jack Archimone, the man catching now. Jordan Stevens, the man warming up. 2-0 pitch. Down in the dirt. taken all the way there. Ruiz for a strike, 3-1. It's a whole new outfield for Georgia this inning as well. Cole Johnson in left, Scott Newman in center, Peoples in right. RBI free pass for Damian Ruiz. Four RBI this afternoon for Ruiz from the 2-hole.
That's one way to push a run across, but again, how big is that 11 spot right here? I mean, I know the Hogs have got a long ways to go, but you erase that 11 spot, throw up a 0 right there, and this game's getting really interesting.
Nottingham trying to buckle in here. Kozel's lone hit was a big one. A 2-run homer back in the second inning. Hogs led it 6-1 after 2.
I think that says something about how you respond after giving up 11 runs in an inning. If you can have some fight and bounce back a little bit, put up a big crooked number, it's going to be tough to come all the way back. But again, it just kind of shows the character of your team.
Absolutely. Called strike. Kozel held up, thought it was going to be low. Two with the bases still loaded.
Big 95-mile-an-hour fastball by Nottingham right there.
Pitch. And now it's full. First 4 of this inning have reached safely. First 3 by way of hit. Then the RBI walk to Ruiz. And the count full here to Kozel. Nottingham's payoff is driven to straightaway center. Scott Newman turns, faces, makes the catch. TJ Pompey in to score on a sac fly from Kozel for his 46th RBI of the year. Bulldogs willing to trade an out for a run right there.
I feel like off the bat that was hit harder than what it was. Just didn't have the launch angle to get up in that breeze.
Helfrich, first pitch. Little dribbler off the mound. Nottingham, throw to first is in time. And the Razorbacks down to their final out.
Probably one of the best pitches Nottingham's thrown. A really good cutter down in the zone, and got Helfrich just to tap one back to the mound.
Comes down to Nolan Souza. Takes a pitch low, 1-1. Bulldogs working on their 32nd win of the year. And if they hold on here and close it out, a conference leading 13-5. Nottingham's 2-1. Big cut there from Souza.
It was a cutter that just kind of backed up on Souza right there. You can definitely see the life in the arm of Nottingham. It's definitely has some live fastball and some cut on that slider. This is pitch number 24. He's thrown 11 balls and 12 strikes.
Razorbacks down to their final strike. Payoff pitch. Low for ball 4.
Well, the fans in the park that still want to watch baseball, they're cheering away.
Well, and that's just as you mentioned early in the inning. You know, still up there working, and for a veteran guy like Souza, not surprising to see him not just go up there and chase any old thing, trying to swing for the fences. Loaded up yet again, and Micah New takes a fastball outside for ball 1.
Really, for a couple pitches that the Arkansas dugout didn't really appreciate, home plate umpire Mike Victor has a really solid zone. He has not given pitches that have been off the plate, maybe one down, but in and out. He's been really solid.
Micah New, the preseason All-American. Ahead 3-0, taken all the way there, and a second RBI walk of the inning. Yeah, not to gloss over your point either, Troy, and sometimes a pitch that maybe an umpire misses, it comes at a moment when the crowd is really focused in and dialed in, and it just happens to be a little bit more dramatic perhaps than another. But a pitching change here for Georgia. Tell you all about it when we come back. New man on the mound is right-hander Jordan Stevens.
Another hard-throwing right-hander out of the bullpen of the Georgia Bulldogs. He's going to sit 93 to 98 miles an hour. Has actually touched 100 this season. Throws a slider and a cutter as well, too. You see the numbers on Stevens there. And again, command has been a little bit of an issue, but the velocity is definitely there. Kind of has a big sweeping breaking ball as well.
The fans who are still here, they're still very much present in the sense of having the right apparel on. The beer hat's coming out yet again. And Zach Stewart, the hitter. Break on that pitch in there for a strike. Good movement from Jordan Stevens. Stewart had a couple of hits yesterday. No better time to get your first one here today with the bases loaded up.
A guy that can definitely run one out of the yard if he gets a hold of one. Another dandy backdoor breaking ball right there by Jordan Stevens.
Pitch. Stewart swings and drives one to left center. Playable. Cole Johnson there to make the catch, and that ends the ball game.
Man, just an offensive barrage by the Georgia Bulldogs. I believe 9 home runs, 26 runs, and that's why they are so dangerous. I tell you what, Arkansas, I think, might feel lucky to get at least a win out of that against these great Georgia Bulldogs.
So they claim the series 2-1, and the Bulldogs stay in front in the SEC, now 13-5, while Arkansas drops to 9-9 in the SEC. A wild game with the wind blowing out. We were warned could be an offensive day, and it was. 26-14, your final score. Georgia over Arkansas. Thanks for being with us. For our entire crew and for Troy Eklund, Josh Haley saying so long from Bob Walker Stadium.